so many of those.
Yeah, my first set of bath bomb molds were 3D printed.
We just lost Jessie. She's like, yeah, no, you said bath bomb.
I lost all will to live.
Yeah, but your bath bombs were always good. You would throw them against the wall, they'd make a hole in your wall. Mine were never that hard. That's what she said. Welcome to the Dirty Heifers podcast. Soap making, small business, and so much more. Let's get dirty. Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Dirty Heifers podcast. The episodes where we pull up a chair, settle in for a little shop talk, a little real talk, and whatever else happens to wander in the pasture. I'm Margaret from Warm and Fuzzy Soapery, and as always, I am joined by my two favorite partners in bath and body chaos. First, we've got Jessie from Country Lather Soapworks, maker of beautiful soaps, supplier of practical wisdom, whether you ask for it or not, and the heifer most likely to casually say something completely reasonable that somehow sends the rest of us into a spiral. And of course, we've got Shauna from Bawana Bath and Body, our fragrance-loving voice of calm experience, resident encourager of trying new things, and the heifer most likely to convince you that you absolutely do need more molds. But before we jump into today's conversation, we want to take a moment to thank our sponsor for today, Bawana Bath and Body. At Bawana Bath and Body, every product is handcrafted with care and creativity, bringing together beautiful scents and thoughtful design to make everyday bath time feel just a little more special. From soaps to bath treats and everything in between, Shauna creates products that are as fun to use as they are to give. And now it's time for everyone's favorite segment, the Word of the Week. And this week's word is...
Somewhere.
Here it is.
All right. The word is spelled Sanguine.
Sanguine.
It's not a pasta.
And it's a pasta made out of, it's gritter done meets pasta. Sandy pasta, sanguine.
Oh,
That would not be good.
that's disgusting.
Kind of reminds me of eating like
it's kind of like that bread that's got the nuts and stuff in it.
sticks and nuts. I was thinking of like, who you're saying sanguine, I'm thinking of like oysters or something when you get little grains of sand in it.
I don't eat oysters, but...
Yeah, no, neither do I. They're disgusting. But that's what it reminded me of anyway.
Sanguine. Gritty pasta.
Gritty pasta. Would you like me to read it in a sentence?
Shauna's a crafty heifer. She probably made some sandy, gritty pasta.
It's going to be very similar to last week's sentence, so it's going to be difficult to guess. Shauna stayed surprisingly sanguine when we started talking about reorganizing her fragrance shelves again.
She's a gritty heifer.
No? Shauna, do you know it?
I thought it was sanguine, but
Maybe it's sanguine. I don't know. I thought it was sanguine.
It's sanguine.
I thought well... No, it's not sanguine.
it is definitely not
sanguine.
sanguine.
I thought it was
It's gritty
sanguine.
pasta.
Could be sanguine. And the
I feel like
meaning?
the definition is like right there, but I can't pull it out of my head.
It is someone who is cheerful and optimistic or confident, especially in difficult situations. Like a positive outlook. So, no? Okay.
Why not just say they optimistic?
That's not as fun. It's not as fun to mess up people like you. So do you have a redneck word of the week for us?
I have a Southernism this week.
All right.
All right.
Those are my favorite.
Well, I don't have to spell that out. You can say it.
Well, ain't you something? So like, aren't you special? Like, I'm going to say it's like someone who's doing something ridiculous or, I don't know,
annoying.
A nice way of calling someone an idiot or a jerk.
This one's kind of like bless your heart.
Yeah.
It depends on the context.
Okay.
You can either be a really nice person, or you really doing something spectacular, or you dumb as a box of rocks.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was. That's what I was thinking. All
You
right.
can tell by the tone that they use what they mean.
Yes.
Well, ain't
yes.
you something? That means you are a moron.
Okay, a moron. That's much nicer than the way I said it.
She said a moron.
In my head, anyway. I did watch a video today of somebody who said, please tell me in the comments all of the ways that you can insult someone and them not realize that they've been insulted, and in fact they'll thank you and then walk away and be like, wait a minute, what? Like,
Bless your heart.
Well, ain't you something?
bless your heart.
Well, ain't you something?
That's what made me think of it. Or someone was like, oh, you're so lucky you're pretty. You know, like, thanks.
It makes me think of Mean Girls. And she's like,
well, ain't you cute?
yeah. I think it's Mean Girls. Like, you're really pretty. Oh, thank you. So you really think you're really pretty? Or something like that.
Yes.
I've never seen Mean Girls.
Ah, that might have to be our newest watch.
I've seen it, but it's
party.
so long ago. So long ago.
Stop trying to make fetch happen. Sorry, anyway.
Stop what?
Trying
It's
to
a
make
line from the
fetch
show.
happen.
One of the
All right.
girls was trying to make fetch a thing. It's fetch.
So, for today's episode, I thought it would be fun to talk about something that doesn't get discussed as often as like recipes or equipment or suppliers, and that's the things that make us better business owners that we didn't expect when we first started. Because I think when most people begin this journey, they expect to learn how to make better products, but what really happens is we end up learning how to make better systems, better communication skills, better confidence, and honestly, like a whole new way of thinking. So today we'll talk about unexpected skills and mindset shifts that helped shape us as business owners along the way. Make sense? Not really?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I have some questions.
Let's roll with it.
To lead you along. All right. So, what is a skill that you did not expect that you would need to have going into this?
I say it every freaking time. It's the
Video.
videos.
I knew you were going to go with
Social
video.
media. Holy cow. But it's
I did not expect to have to learn how to edit videos in such a way that I have. Because, I mean, when I first started out, it was just split and delete and such as that.
Right.
I do so many overlays and different things with my videos now.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that I'm so terrible at. Like, I will edit the video and then just throw it out, and then I won't put it like a caption. I put caption, but I won't put like a title. I won't put, it's just so much thought that has to go into all of that extra stuff that I don't do that.
That's why they take me so long too.
I know. I feel like we say that all the time. It's videos, videos,
Yeah.
videos. But I didn't expect that understanding fragrance suppliers and like how the oils are developed to become an important part of me as a maker. Like, I thought I would just find fragrances or scents that I liked and I'd use them. But after last week, learning how they're tested and how they behave and how suppliers operated, that kind of changes how confident I am about my products.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's something I was telling
Yeah.
you too. Like, yeah. Do it, lady.
I wouldn't.
I told you guys last week, I was sending in something about this market or festival to do. Finally tipping my toes in that thing. And I sent it my social medias too, and I said, I just put that video up of going to AFI and looking at how fragrances are made and such. I feel like that legitimizes the business a lot.
Yeah, it definitely does.
Because you're not just on the surface level just making stuff and throwing it in a mold. You're understanding your ingredients and stuff.
Right.
I was like that.
I feel like any business that you're in, if you can understand how like the more you understand about how it all goes together, the more confident you are in your product and the better salesperson you are.
Right.
Because you can talk about every aspect of it.
I'm gonna just throw this out there, and it just come to me. One thing I did not expect to be such a big part of being a business owner is how much troubleshooting and problem solving you'd have to do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is such a huge part of what we do, is especially if you're like scaling or just trying something new. There's a lot of troubleshooting today. Case in point, I got these big 100-pound jugs of fragrance in, and didn't think about how to dispense them. So I went
Wait, say that again?
Didn't think about how to get the fragrance out.
I thought you were getting pumps.
I've got pumps for my drums, but these things are so short and such, it's not going to be very stable. So what I done is, when I went to gym this morning, I got done, I went to my local hardware store, and the whole time I'm texting my fragrance supplier, shout out AFI, and I'm like, will fragrance oil react with brass? Because you ladies know different things react with. I just wanted to make sure all my bases were covered. And he said, no. He says, you're good with brass. I said, okay. So I went to my hardware store and I got a spigot, a water hose spigot.
Okay.
And I wrapped the threads with Teflon tape and screwed that bugger in there. It fit just perfect. And I'm going to build a rack on my back wall where they can just slide in there. And I can just dispense my fragrance. Just open up the faucet and it's going to work perfect. Doesn't leak, nothing like that. Fantastic. Troubleshooting.
Yep.
Nice.
You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you scale and you do things different, you got to figure stuff out. It's always evolving. You got to figure things out. I did not know that was going to be such a big part of being a small business owner.
Yeah, there's a lot of troubleshooting on every level. Like even before, before you're thinking about scaling up, troubleshooting on the website. Oh, that's a big one. Forget about it.
Yep.
Troubleshooting when you get to a craft fair and your Wi-Fi doesn't work and you still have to accept payments. That's what, things like that.
Yeah. There's lots of troubleshooting that goes on. Lots of it. You're all the time having to change something and fix something.
How about a skill that you have or gained that's fun?
Crickets.
All right, so I'll start since you guys are thinking, because I have the questions. I thought of them. I did not expect, so I'm a teacher during the day, so obviously I enjoy explaining things and that kind of stuff. I think some fuzzies is coming out. So
you got to keep that.
But I didn't expect that I would enjoy helping new makers, right? At first I felt like I wasn't experienced enough to give any kind of advice, but over time I realized that the conversations I have with other people about soap, whether they're asking me questions or I'm asking them questions, actually helps me to grow too. So that's something that surprised me.
I can say that if you had asked me at the beginning of this whole endeavor when I was first starting, would you be interested in how the fragrances are made? I'd be like, eh. But I think that was really fun, delving deeper into suppliers and how things are made and being very conscious, oh my gosh, about that one's hard today.
Words are hard.
They are hard today. I've had a day. Anyway, getting deeper into the ingredients and understand. I had to word that differently because I knew Jessie would be all over it if I didn't.
Not me.
I didn't think I was going to want
here.
to go that intense into it, but
It's neat learning how things are done. I've always been that type of person where I want to know how something's made. I want to know how that kind of stuff, like production systems, all that kind of stuff. That is so interesting to me. But what was the question again, Margaret?
Do you have any skills that you got that surprised you and they're fun?
Something that's fun.
Well, a skill that I'm surprised that I've got. When I first started all this stuff, I was not a camera person at all. Like, I didn't like getting my picture taken. I didn't like videos being taken of me. That was just not my thing. And I do it now, run of the mill. Don't bother me at all. Somebody pulls out a camera and selfie, I'm automatically
Mugging?
smiling, mugging.
So,
but
yeah. Finish your sentence first. Squirrel.
Squirrel. That's it.
I actually said squirrel today in school. I'm in the middle of teaching a lesson, and the phone
I'm rubbing
rang.
off on you.
I know, the phone rang, but they didn't have a regular school phone. They had like a house phone in the school phone thing, so it had like a weird ring to it. It wasn't like that ring. It was like, and I was like, what the heck is that noise? And the kids laughed, and they said, it's the phone. So I pick up the phone, I talk to them, whatever. And then I got back to my lesson, I was like, squirrel. And none of them got it. Why don't the children understand my personal jokes?
So, 2 points there. Jessie was talking about, always been curious about how things are made. That's how I ended up in this business to begin with. I was just like, how is soap made? It wasn't like I was on some journey to make my own soap. I was like, how is that done? And then I was like, well, now I have to do it. Now I have to figure it so I can fully understand it. And then I just kept doing it. But the other thing that is kind of fun, a skill that I've always had an interest in photography, but I never thought I was good at it, and I never really delved into it. Like, as soon as they said f-stop, I'm like, bleh, I don't know what I'm talking about. So I've gotten a lot better at photography for my website. And I've had people, like, even comment on it. Like, they wouldn't check my website, and they're like, how do you do your photography? Like, iPhone.
I took a photography class in high school where we had our own darkroom. So we actually had, like, these black bags where we would load the film manually onto, it was like, the olden times when we used cameras with film. And we'd have to put the film and load it onto the reel in the dark and snap it all together and then put it whatever. And then we'd be in the dark room, making these prints of, it was nice. That was a good class.
Yeah. I mean, I did a little bit of that, but I never really got into it. And so there was a big learning curve in that. And it wasn't just like how to take a picture, but then like setting the backdrop and everything. And now I've got I got a whole collection of like little fake plants, and I've got a light box up here, all this other stuff. And I just like start throwing things in. It's like, looks good.
Plants.
Yep.
And see, that is one thing I suck at, is the photography part of it. I've got a light box. I'll just put the white little backdrop in it. I've got a pine board that's got like beetle holes all in it. It's got beetle kill, and it's really pretty. And I'll sit that in there, put the soap on there, click. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
I don't have an eye for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
At all.
Maybe I have to come down and play with your pictures for you.
But we have a bunch of different backdrops and boxes and all that kind of stuff. So I know we talk a lot about, like, when did you feel like you went from hobbyist to, actual business owner or whatever, but think about your mindset when you actually felt like, okay, now I'm a real maker. Like, did your mindset change? Did how you approached your business change?
Yeah. It changed. Like I said, when I got the website, that's when I'm like, okay, I've got to keep this thing stocked. Everything's got to, I don't want to run out of stock of anything. I've got to keep everything made. And of course, in the soap making world, you've got to stay ahead of your product because it takes 4 weeks to cure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I had to switch to an actual maker mindset of, okay, I've got to keep this and such and such and such.
So you had to
made.
become more organized just to keep track of everything?
I'm not going to say I become organized. I just had to make stuff, keep things made. Because y'all know I ain't organized.
So what you're saying is you're not keeping spreadsheets of what you have and how much you have of it and when you should make more. You're just looking at yourself and going, oh, that's low. I should make it.
Yeah. Yeah, I look at I need to make that.
Okay.
Or D will text me, and he's like, you need to make this, we're getting low. I'm like, got it.
Okay. How about you, Shauna?
I can say, it was never intended to be a business for me. And it was when people started saying, are you going to sell? Are you going to sell? And so many people was asking me that. It was wild to me how many people were asking that. So whenever I finally went to my husband and said, okay, we have a business. And he said, give me a 5-year plan. And I said, we have a 5-month plan. I'm launching. And that was when my mindset shifted. I was like, okay, we're actually heading into a business here. It's go time. And then setting up a website and all that.
How long have you been in business?
Since 2020. So
2020. Because I'm wondering, now that I know Brad, I'm wondering if you didn't just put down and say,
oh yeah,
we're starting in 5 months, would he still be in the planning phases 6 years later?
Probably.
Because it has to be perfect for him. Because he's,
yes.
Everything has to be, that's, the kind of personality that he has. Everything, he's got to have every detail thought of and taken care of.
He would look at me and just shake his head.
No, but that's the thing is, it's like, he understands. I even said it to him 3 or 4 years in the business. It's like, we wouldn't even been launched yet if we had followed your plan. He goes, yeah, you're right, we wouldn't have. Yeah. I wouldn't be friends with you guys. We wouldn't have this podcast. I mean, if I had done a 5-year plan, a lot of things would be different.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here today.
A lot of things. Yeah.
When did your mindset, when did your mindset on pricing start feeling easier?
I struggled with pricing to begin with because I just wanted to make enough just to feed my hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I started wholesaling to different businesses, then I had to start thinking about my prices. And as I need this much to cover my costs. I had to switch my mindset to, okay, so my retail price needs to be this. That way, when I wholesale to the business, I can still make a decent profit, and so can the business.
Right.
So when I started wholesaling, that's when I started really considering carefully my pricing.
Okay.
Because you got to be able to make a profit both ways.
Right. How about you, Shauna?
I still struggle with it a little bit. Mm-hmm. But again, that's something that Brad had really beat in my head. Is listen, there is a psychology to it.
I was just
that we've talked about so many times. That if the price is too low, it's perceived as cheap and not valuable. And if it's too high, then it's seen too luxe and people won't buy it. But I think for me, when it changed was when we eventually did go up in pricing, and people were still coming back and buying. And I was like, okay, they find this worth it. It may not be everybody's cup of tea, but they find this worth it. And then looking at other people's pricing, you go to any tourist town, and you see other soaps that are marked way higher than yours, and you're
way higher, half the ounces, half the bars, much higher. Yep. Yeah. But they also have to keep in mind that they have overhead, and they have a retail shop that they have to, pay for with all of that. For me, we did a lot of the psychology on pricing, the same thing that you were talking about. Other people around were selling, $5 a bar, $6 a bar, and we were like, if we eventually want to wholesale, that's not sustainable. I can't wholesale. I would be losing money if I started wholesaling at that point. Well, especially because in the beginning, your cost of goods is much higher because you're not buying in bulk. So then we also thought about, some luxury brands are selling, $15 a bar. But I just couldn't wrap my head around $15 a bar. So what really, the pricing didn't get any easier because the math changed. It got easier because now I'm more confident in the value of what I'm making. So I know I have a good, valuable product. It is a solid, good bar soap, and it's going to make you feel good. And I don't want it to... Oh, that's it.
Cut yourself off, huh?
I cut myself off before I say something that, we're not supposed to say. Meaning like making claims and all that kind of stuff,
Oh, gotcha.
So I have a good product and it's a good price. Is it the top of the market? No, obviously not. A lot of people getting $12, $15 a bar. There are some people getting $45 a bar. I don't know what's in that bar, but they do.
That's insane to me. Oh my gosh, that's insane.
Unless you're using like a high price essential oil or something, that's just wild.
And even
when I see them and they're these huge brands and they're selling, and I go look at the ingredients, I'm like, why is this so expensive?
A lot of times I'm like, those ingredients are the same things that I use. What justifies them? Good branding.
Yep.
And marketing.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's like some of these purses and shoes out there. Some of them are made superiorly, and some of them are just, yeah.
And so, as we sit here, go ahead, Jessie.
I was going to say, you're talking about the purse and shoes, it's kind of like my running shoes. I mean, them boogers is $190 a pair for tennis shoes.
Yep.
But they're worth it.
Yep.
Because you got, the sole has got to have a spring to it and cushion to it. Plus, it's got to be supportive.
Yep.
It's got to be breathable fabric. You look at it, but all kinds of different variables. With soap, it washes your skin.
Right. And washes right off.
Yeah. It's not that serious.
So I know we're just sitting here talking about pricing and other people's pricing. When did you stop comparing yourself to other makers? Or do you still compare yourself to other makers?
My product or my business in general?
Both.
I don't think you ever really stop comparing yourself to others. 'Cause that's human nature.
I know.
That's human nature. I compare myself to y'all all the time as far as how your product looks and how you make it and such as that. Not saying I try to beat y'all, but you look at other makers.
Of course.
It's inspiration.
I always
inspiration
look at other
trends.
people for ideas, how to do things, and then coming up with new ways of doing things. Like Julie from Ophelia Soapery, whatever. Yeah. She's done stuff where I in the past, I mean, obviously it's not so new now, but things that she would do, I'd be like, oh, I never thought of that before. I feel like she's invented at least three different styles
techniques,
of making. Yeah, techniques.
There's a maker that she runs across my FYP on TikTok. I think it's Skin Loves Butter. I think that's the name of her business. She does soap. She makes soap in a way that I've thought about, but I've only done it once, kind of by accident. She'll pour her oils in her mold, and she'll pour her lye solution in her mold, and she'll mix it right there in the mold.
Oh gosh, I'd be afraid that I'd tear up my silicone.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't use silicone. She lines with
with paper
and plastic. Yeah, but still, that's even more brittle. But the control, you just think she's got to have a feel for that.
So
but if
reminds me.
If you think about it, I mean, that's really an interesting way to do it, because you don't have to pour the soap once you got it all mixed up. Acceleration, all that kind of stuff, you really don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's true. I did one time in the very, very beginning. John made the lye solution, and he used the lye for liquid soap.
Oh yeah.
Right, instead of for.
Oh man.
Right. So, and I didn't know it, and I mixed it in the bowl and whatever, and it seemed to get a little bit thicker. And then I poured it into my mold, and I'm like, man, it just fell apart. So I did mix in that, and I mixed for an hour. This thing is just, now I'm going to leave it overnight and see what happens.
Well, I kind of did I did something similar. Like I've told you ladies, when the local newspaper was here, like doing a story on me, I made the soap, but I forgot to put the fragrance oil in the soap. So he left, and I like checked to make sure he was going down the road. It wasn't like he had to come in and be like, "Oh, I forgot this." Like he was going down the road. And I'm like, I poured the fragrance in the mold. I took my little stick blender and all my cool little swirls and such was gone, but I still had usable soap.
Right.
There you go.
And it sold just as good as, the pretty stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think comparing myself to other people got a little bit easier once I understood like what warm and fuzzy soapery was supposed to feel like. Like when I found who we are as a soap maker, I'm like not as comparing myself as much to other people who don't have that same style or don't have that same audience or don't have that, yes, we're all in the niche of soap makers, but there's so many of us and so many different types of us.
Well, it's like there's subcategories.
Right.
We've each got our own little demographic. Like Shauna, she's more of like spa, luxury type. Margaret, you're more of like, don't want to say crunchy, but you've got your own little apothecary vibe and such as that. And
You can say hippie. It's okay.
You're a hippie, okay? You got hippie vibes. Me,
She knows it.
I market to the rednecks and the everyday person, that it's just everyday folks.
What's funny, well, yeah, when your brand has a clear identity, then you don't feel like you have to look at other people anymore. I mean, to help you with your branding. I mean, I still look at other people for their pricing. I still look at other people for their, for their style of making and things like that. But that's funny. Speaking of hippie and whatever, I went to my mom's the other day, and she was like, "What the heck are the kids telling me you have purple hair? You have purple hair?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" She's like, "Show me your purple hair." I was like, my purple hair is right here. Look at that. You can't really see it on camera, but it's there.
Yeah, you had it in when we was in Georgia.
Yeah, it's just whatever. I'm like, she's like, you're such a hippie.
Like, duh, I know that. It's like telling Jessie she's a redneck. She knows this.
Yeah, you met me?
So you're talking about like not needing to compare yourself to other people once you find kind of your thing. I found that once I kind of fell into my groove, even though I see all these cute different techniques and like challenges and stuff people want to do, is like it would be fun to do at some point, but I don't feel like I have to. I don't feel like I have to pipe on my soap. If I do it, it's just for fun. I don't feel like I have to do drags. The scrapers. They look fun.
Scrapers, yeah.
They look fun. I'd like to try sometime. I have a couple to try, but I don't feel like I have to.
Well, it's like I look at, I had another soap maker at the shop the other day, and she made some beautiful stuff with like embeds and such as that. It's really pretty stuff. And, I told her, I said, she said, "What do you think about this?" I'm like, I said, "It's gorgeous." I said, "I think it's pretty." I said, "If that's what your customer base likes, that's awesome." I said, "But one thing you've got to think about, if you're really wanting to make this go, is it scalable?" She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Can you make a lot of this at once?" She said, "No." I mean, in the time, making 2 pounds at a time, yeah, you can absolutely do that. That's not a problem. But like me, I've made some, ladies, I've made some really intricate soaps in 30 and 50 pound batches. It's not worth the time and effort.
Right. That's some special case. And that's what I was going to say, is that you can still make those, but as a draw, like a limited edition draw, while you have the big. Even Katie from Royalty has done that now. She was the high top queen, the pipe soap queen, but now she has regular soaps that she can make in mass, and then the pipe tops are special.
Special and limited edition type things. I just that's just never been my kind of thing. I'm like, they're really cool. I've got some really ornate soaps put away that I'll probably never use. because they were limited edition and they're pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I paid $15 for a bar of it.
Yeah. You don't want to wash with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You want to look at it.
And then some of those soaps that are really intricate, like the pencil soap that I make, that takes a lot of...
Yeah.
And it's not just one soap making session. And I'll make that in a slab, so I can make, a couple hundred bars of that at a time. But it's the pouring, and it's the layers, and then the next day it's the chopping off the tips, and then after that is the carving of the, like all the different... That's a 3-day process.
And you're carving 200 bars.
Right. It's a lot. I should probably get a stamp.
I was going to say, you should just have a stamp it.
I should.
Yeah.
When I move to the new place and I get myself a 3D printer, I'll 3D print myself a stamp.
I was playing with a fidget toy today.
Print all of our stamps.
Yeah.
I was playing with a fidget toy today that was 3D printed, and I was like, man, someday when we can afford it, 3D printer making fidget toys.
Yes, that's all I want to do. Kids handed me a fidget toy today in school, a little 3D printed frog, and I was like, oh, this is really cute. I want to make this. Because I just want to make everything.
So some people at work, we have lockers because we come in regular clothes and we change into OR scrubs. And some people have like those articulated 3D printed figures, like there's a skeleton or there's a frog or something like that with the magnets printed into it, so they can stick them on their lockers. And I'm like, ooh, that looks like fun. I want to make them.
And see, y'all look at that kind of stuff. You're like, ooh, I want to make that. I want to make that. I want to make that. I'm sitting there going, I'm not gonna make none of this. It's not happening.
And
like,
I know I'll get a 3D printer eventually because that's who I am. I see something, I want something, I obsess about it, and I'll get this 3D printer, and maybe I'll make 10 things out of it. And then I'll be like, I can't think of anything else to do with this. And it'll sit there.
Oh, no, I've seen like people make 3D printed stuff to organize their booths for markets, organize their kitchen drawers, organize their, the organized
I do know that a lot of those files...
Margaret's... Her wheels are turning. I can see it.
A lot of those files are free now too, or you could just buy the files and the CAD. The CAD.
And then there's the guy that makes up all the different games, the 3D printed games, and now he's made them so they're like books on a shelf.
Yes, those I really like. Those are adorable.
Those are fun. Would so 100% make those.
Right, but it would just be stuff for me because I'm not going to make them to sell. I'm not doing anything like that, and then my house is going to be filled with 3D printed junk.
And then you know what else I saw? So now you're going to have to add this to your list of junk to get. They have machines now that take all the little bits and ends, and you throw it in the machine and it grinds it up and makes new filament out of it.
Yeah, I've seen that too. But in addition to the 3D printer, I also I want to get like the
laser cutter.
The laser cutters. Yeah, those.
Now
I'm up Jessie's alley, right? Those just look so good.
I'm sitting there going, I could make really cool stuff with that, but it would totally be redneck stuff. So.
Right, but I've even seen like for those things, I've seen people take like the tops to their candles and you put them in there and then boom, 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 and it just engraves all your logos on everything. I'm like, oh, I could do that. I could talk John into getting that. Nope. Probably.
This wouldn't interest either of you, but
good luck with that.
a lot of my bath bombs that don't fit the machine are all 3D printed. So bath bomb presses, bath bomb molds.
Yes.
So many of those. So
yeah, my first set of bath bomb molds were 3D printed.
We just lost Jessie. She's like, yeah, no. You said bath bomb, and she just went.
Her face just glassed over.
I lost all will to live.
Yeah, but your bath bombs were always good. You would throw them against the wall. They'd make a hole in your wall. Mine were never that hard. That's what she said.
Our new list.
True story. Because when I get mad, I throw things.
Jessie didn't hear it. She didn't hear it.
What?
I snuck in and that's what she said.
It was a good one, too.
At what point?
When I said, that yours are really hard?
She said, mine never, no. She said, what she said was, mine never get that hard. That's what she said. That's when I lost. Oh my gosh.
All right, so tell me,
Mark.
That sounds like a you problem, Margaret. There, anyway.
Well, sorry.
That's not a me problem. That's a you problem, heifer. I see no problems on my end.
All right, we got to stop before one of us tinkles herself.
Something that maybe you stopped worrying about that used to stress you out. Is there anything that you, like, when you first started, oh my goodness, this is so stressful, and now you've stopped worrying about it?
I quit worrying about the designs of my products.
Okay.
Because it's not that serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like my customer base, I mean, they'll look a little bit like if something's pretty, they'll buy it, but they're more worried about what it smells like and how it works.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't worry about the design as much. I mean, y'all see it when I make soap. 9 times out of 10, I don't even swirl it anymore. I just pour it and I'm like, let's roll with it. It is what it is.
I don't worry as much about shipping, if I can be honest. I used to stress about the shipping early on, and I would also obsessively check the tracking sometimes. You know, it's like, has that one delivered yet? Has that one delivered yet? And I did that in the initial beginning. Yeah, I would check to make sure it was delivered because I was just freaked out about it. Now I'm just like,
I've never checked to see if something was delivered unless somebody called me to say, hey, I haven't got my package yet.
I used to be super worried about if people got their package. And I'm like, you know what? If they don't get it, they'll email me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. If somebody doesn't get something, they'll let me know, and then I'll look it up. I'm not going to worry about if they got it or not.
But I used to worry about that. I used to stress about that, and like if I got the right boxes and everything. I think some of that comes with time. You just kind of figure out what works best for you. But in the beginning, it was so stressful.
I used to worry about, am I doing things the right way? Meaning, am I doing things the way that other soap makers do them? Because there's very different philosophies in soap making. So some people do a launch. You know, you make a certain amount. And you have a launch every month. This is what I'm making. And then some people, what I settled on was, these are my products. I keep them in stock all the time. Right? So those are two very different things. So it used to worry me that I wasn't doing the same things other people, but then I realized there's really not one right way to run your business. But I also, one thing that used to worry me and still worries me, and it's kind of irrational, is when I run a sale and, orders start kicking in. When I run a sale, it's order after order after order. And I start going, oh my goodness, do I have enough inventory for all of these orders? And I know I do because I counted it personally, and I personally entered the inventory into the website. But I feel like every once in a while, the website just says, haha, not today, and adds on inventory, because maybe every 6 months or so, someone will order something and I'll be like, wait, where did this go? And I blame the website. What I really want to blame is, I think, either my kids took one off the shelf, or John gave one away to someone, because sometimes if he sees, if somebody orders 10 or 11 bars of soap, he'll be like, oh, they didn't get this one, let me throw this one in and see if they like this too. But then he doesn't know anything about the website. I don't even know if he knows how to get onto the website. So he's not going in and changing the inventory. So that's something that bothers me to this day. But not as much as it did in the beginning, because if somebody orders something and I don't have it, he takes care of that. He'll either give them 2 of something else or refund them or whatever. He makes it up to them in a way.
Does he talk to them before he changes it out?
Sometimes he'll write a note. Sometimes he'll email in advance and say, hey, I ran out of this. Would you mind getting, I can substitute this instead, or... Yeah, I've never really had it.
Would you like a refund, or would you like to swap it out?
Right.
I was asking because I just saw a post on, I think it was one of those soap making groups, where someone said they ordered, I don't know if they ordered supplies or if they ordered finished product from someone, but the person said, hey, I ran out of this one, so I just substituted this one. She's like, is this normal? Like, with no contact ahead of time. And I think it depends, like, if it's a returning customer and you know they don't care, then...
Yeah, most of the times that happens with the return. It very rarely happens with someone new. I don't know why.
I haven't had that happen in a hot minute.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because, I mean, I do very few limited, and if it does happen, it's on like a limited run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I'll typically do limited runs around festivals. My nose itches so bad for some reason. Anyhow.
Hello, menopause.
It always Is that a perimenopause thing?
It is for me. I mean, I've noticed the last several years my nose will not stop itching like crazy, like all the time. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And then people start talking about their ears itching a lot. And I was like, my ears don't. My nose certainly do.
But the insides of my ears itch.
Yeah, I don't get that. But I get my nose itches. Anyway.
The thing about my nose right now is, ladies, y'all know I get fever blisters. I've got one in my nose.
Oh,
Ow!
in your nose.
I'll get them inside my nose.
I've never had one in my
bad.
nose. I get them on my mouth, but not in my nose.
I'll get them on my mouth. I'll get them inside my mouth. I'll get them inside my nose. And
jeez, girl.
It itches. But it really only happens around limited runs, for some reason. Probably because I do a market.
We're not talking about your fever
that,
blisters. We're talking about losing the soap.
Yeah.
Like it really only happens around limited basis. I'm like, what?
Y'all got to follow where y'all know how my mind works.
I was following right along. I know.
Yeah, and I was going to say that's just more motivation to narrow down a consistent line so that you can stay on top of those, and then you don't have to.
Yeah, but on top of that, you got to keep things interesting.
So let me ask you. You just said that it usually only happens when you make limited runs, which is when you're doing shows. Why do you explain your thought process behind that? You make different soaps that you bring to shows.
Mm-hmm.
Different than what's on your website.
Theme for the show.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily theme. Like I do 2 shows a year typically. I do the Gingham Tree in Loosedale, and it's like it's the second Saturday in November every year. People are shopping for Christmas stuff.
Right. Okay.
I'll have Christmas stuff there. My other big show that I do is this weekend. It's the Pine Hill Festival. It's in Wiggins, and I always have a summer scent.
Okay.
I just went and picked up my label today for Trailer Park Tropic, which is coconut and lime.
Trash.
I thought she was going to say that too. I was going to say, I don't know that I want to have soap that smells like trash, but go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
What's the fragrance on Trailer Park Tropics?
Coconut and lime.
Oh, is that what you keep? Is that the green soap that you gave us? I'm using that one now.
It smells good.
Yeah, it does. And you know what? I have it in my bath. Now, my house is so empty that, like, you can hear the echo in here, right? And I have it in the bathroom, and I used it yesterday. And then I left the room and went back into the bathroom, and the whole bathroom smelled like the soap. And I know that it's not like I don't keep candles in there or anything anymore, so it's definitely it's a good smelling one. It's a nice strong.
On that topic, Shauna, the green soap that I took home from Georgia, what is it fragranced with?
I think it's dark amber rosewood. I have to get back to you on that one.
That's what's in my shower right now. It smells so good. Like, I washed my hair and everything with it.
I should have sent one home with you, Margaret, after you came back here.
Yeah, now I feel upset and sad.
I know.
I have so much
Excuse me. Excuse me. I am the left out heifer here, okay? Don't be taking my title away from me.
The forgotten heifer.
The third wheel. Heifer. I'm the third wheel.
The neglected heifer.
So is there anything that you learned but you feel like you learned it a little too late?
Huh? What?
Yeah.
I was singing.
Like, by myself. Good.
Listen, we don't want to lose listeners because you guys keep singing, so let's...
Rude.
I'd say if my kids were listening, they'd turn it off immediately when I start singing, but they're not listening. So I could sing away. Just kidding.
Okay, so
question?
things you learn too late. Things you think you learn too late. I knew early on I needed to stop buying so many freaking ingredients, but it was really hard to stop.
Okay.
And now you've seen my fragrance collection, and it's because I want to try everything. I need to de-stash some of those somehow and start just narrowing it down. Like, I still want to try things, and like maybe every once in a while add something or just limit release something. But
yeah, it's so funny that you said the fragrance thing, because John is obsessed with this one candle maker, and they do really good fragrance reviews. So he's like, "Oh, you have to watch this one," and I don't know why he's so obsessed with fragrance reviews, because he can't smell. So he really just likes the descriptions. He has no sense of smell whatsoever. He loves listening to the descriptions, because he said listening to the descriptions that this person says helps him a lot more than just reading the label. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And he's like, we just spent months talking about, let's pare it down, and we're going to limit our bars, and we're only going to carry these certain fragrances, maybe 10. And he's like, but listen to this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. I think I'm going to order these fragrances. Why? We just narrowed everything down. Why do you want to buy more fragrances? That's a him thing, not a me thing.
I can sympathize with that.
Yeah.
But I can also say that, like, so many of these fragrances I bought. So I had this stupid thing in my head, like, that sounds really good. And I'm always worried that, like, I might miss out on something that I want in the line. So I'm like, it sounds really good, and then I would order a bunch of it because I'm going to make so much stuff out of it. I've scaled back now. I'm like, okay, I'm ordering 1 ounces.
And I don't know if anybody on here has seen when I would make soap in the beginning. My fragrances were behind me, and I've done a lot of like turn the camera and look at all of my fragrances, and people are like, oh my goodness, look at all the fragrances you have. Shauna has probably triple what I had. Yeah.
Rude.
Well, I'm just saying, I only had,
that's been over a long time.
You probably have about triple what I had, and I had a lot.
Yeah, I need to stop. So I have.
Does you have a problem, ma'am?
I do has a problem.
And you know what? It's not a bad problem to have.
I'm seriously thinking that I should just make like mystery boxes of fragrance oils for other makers or something like that, and be like, here, just for this amount of money, including shipping, I'll just send you a box of mystery fragrances. Because, people who are just starting out, they might enjoy that.
Maybe. How about you, Jessie? Something you learned a little too late?
Ditto.
Same with the fragrances?
Start buying.
Same with the fragrances.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I just got rid of legit, like, a big tote piled over on itself of just fragrance oils.
Right.
Just odds and ends. Stuff that I'll never use again.
How'd you get rid of it?
A local soap maker coming. Oh, I say local. She's like an hour and 45 minutes from me.
Did you put it on Facebook Marketplace or something?
No, she actually reached out to me. She was looking for base oils, and I told her I had some odds and ends stuff, and oddly enough, it was stuff that she uses. I'm like,
there you go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need one of those.
Good.
I put it in her truck. I said, here, you're taking this too.
I did that with a lot of the
Didn't give
stuff.
her an option.
Yeah, I did
Didn't
that
give
with a
her
lot
an
of the
option.
stuff that we were selling for the house. Like this one girl came over and she's like, I'm a brand new teacher, and she wanted a file cabinet, and I was like, okay, I'm getting rid of my file cabinet, and I brought her in. I'm like, oh, you're a teacher? How about this? Come in my house, stranger. Come into my basement with me, stranger. And she did. To her credit, she is still alive. She came in, so everyone's like, do you like any of these books? Would you like this little chalkboard? Would you like this? I have this stack of this. I just gave them like, keep taking.
I'd have been like, where's your car? Here, let me tote it.
Yeah.
We did that whenever my mother-in-law had some sideboard things she had bought, and she was getting rid of it from the house because we're selling that house now. And someone messaged me, and she was interested in it. She showed up, and there's this little side table that my mother-in-law had bought. She bought 2 of them, but one broke. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at this table. I'm like, nobody wants this freaking table. To me, it just did not look like something anybody wanted. But it was sitting there in the garage, and so I helped this woman loading this thing up into the back of her van. I was like, hey, you want that little side table for free? And she was like, my daughter's starting college. She's not picky. She needs furniture. Sure, why not?
There you go.
So I was like, there you go. Take it with you, please.
There you go. Win-win. So obviously the one thing that I think I learned too late is how important relationships are and networking, especially when it comes to like suppliers. So not just like where you buy from, but understanding why you choose the suppliers that you choose. So just thinking about that whole tour and the whole AFI thing, and just seeing the life cycle of a fragrance and all that kind of stuff. It really, really gets you thinking about who you buy for and how that can affect your bottom line and your just a lot.
I can say though, I've gone to some websites now, like I see some new random fragrance maker I've never heard of, or some fragrance supplier, and I go to the website and I start looking over the fragrance, and if there's not enough information on that listing, I feel like they don't have all their P's and Q's, together. I'm like, running away.
Yeah.
How about if you had to start all over, what would you ignore?
Bath bombs.
How about you, Shauna?
What product would I ignore?
Well, not necessarily a product, just anything like business-wise, anything.
Two things. Okay, so we just went over how I have way too many fragrances. So I would ignore the pull to buy fragrances, especially in large amounts when I haven't tested them before. But I would, if I had to go back, I would not. We've said this so many times before, and hopefully if it gets through to one person, it'll be worth it. But you don't have to make everything people ask for.
Okay, yeah, I say that a lot too.
Yeah.
I think I would also ignore the pressure to do things like other makers are doing and focus sooner on building things that make it feel like it's my business, right? So focusing on the natural line, which I know does well for me, as opposed to, doing a million embeds and trying out the fragrance of the month or, those kinds of things. That's what I would ignore. How about anything that you would do sooner? Like you were like, oh, this is totally working for me and I should absolutely do this?
Dish soap. Dish soap is doing really well. Shockingly.
I would have swapped to silicone liners quicker.
Okay.
Because, I started off lining my own molds, and that is such a monumental pain in the butt. I don't know why I put it off for so long, because I'm hooked now.
You know what's so weird is like you, I started with lining with paper. I don't know, did you line yours with paper in the beginning too? You just went straight into the silicone molds. So I lined mine with paper in the beginning as well. And I know the difference in ease of use, how unmolding from that. And I see people on YouTube, big makers, who I have seen them go from paper to silicone and back to paper. Like, why are they doing that? Why would they take a step back? It's baffling to me.
Maybe they just like the fact that you can just throw it away when you're done and don't have to wash it. I don't know.
Okay.
But the washing is so, there's nothing to it. Like, even with these big molds, it is so easy.
Just rinse right out.
You take the mold. No, I don't even take it out the mold. I leave it there. I pour water in there. I scrub it. I wipe it out. Spray it with alcohol. Ta-da! It's done.
I just take it and throw it in the sink.
Yay!
And he just rinses
too
it out.
big to throw in the sink.
Out. Well, yeah, yours are a little bit bigger than mine. Yeah. But I remember
you ain't fitting them in the sink.
When I was doing with paper, like you make it. First of all, I could never get the corners perfectly. They were always rounded on the edge, which drove John insane. Even though we were going to bevel it anyway, it wasn't perfect, right? So that the fact that it wasn't a 90-degree angle all around the edges, that it irked him way more than it irked me. But the paper doesn't stay on the wood mold because, you know, eventually the wood molds, well, now we have the other molds too. They'd get soap all over them. And if I taped the paper on, it wouldn't stay. You know, like it just, I don't know, that was a pain in the butt.
Staple gun. That's what I did.
Guess that's why
Did you really?
Yeah, I stapled them.
Oh, jeez.
I would leave enough overhang, I would fold it over, and I'd staple it to the outside.
What, didn't you have like a million staple holes then?
I sure did.
This wood, she didn't care.
Did I care? No.
No, of course not. And if, you know what? It totally makes sense to do it that way.
Listen, if she was still doing that way, she would have just gotten some spackle and filled the holes in, sand it down, and start over again. That's what she would have done.
No. I'd have got Bondo. Works better.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry.
I was going to say wood filler, but no. Okay. I think I would trust myself a little bit sooner to make business decisions instead of hesitating as long as I had.
Yeah, but that hesitation is where you learned to trust yourself. It takes that trial and error.
Right. Okay. I see what you're saying there.
Because, I mean, trust is earned. You even got to earn trust from yourself.
Yeah.
How about something that beginners worry about that they really just shouldn't worry about at all?
Making everything picture perfect.
That's what I was going to say.
It does not have to be perfect.
Right.
If your design is not how you've got it in your head, if your color is not how you've got it in your head, I guarantee you your customer base does not care.
Mm-hmm.
You are your own worst critic. I am my own worst critic.
You are your own worst critic.
Yeah, well, and that's what we were saying about Shauna before. Like, your husband, if you had waited for things to be perfect, you still wouldn't be launched today. Nope. Well, that's not true, because a lot of your stuff looks perfect, so.
Well, thank you. But see, it's only the only way I would... I am where I am is because I launched and have the experience and been selling and making the money in order to reinvest in the business to make more. That's the only reason I'm there. If I had waited 5 years, I would not have made as much soap. I would not know as much as I do.
Right, you wouldn't have the experience that you do.
Mm-hmm. And see, you know, you just proved my point, Margaret. To us, her product looks perfect.
Right.
But I guarantee you, 6 out of 10 see her shake her head. It's not how you want it.
Exactly what you're talking about, because I saw her bath bomb. You saw your bath bomb video today, where you were talking about how you were painting it, and you were saying, you know, I'm still experimenting in my styles of decorating the bath bombs or whatever. I don't remember the exact words that you said, but so you were like, you know, be patient with me, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't think people care about the decoration on a bath bomb. They just want to plop it in the water and see the water get pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's you are your own worst critic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
I'm just trying to think of like how do people look at it and go, ooh, suck them in with that, you know, but.
Yeah. Completely agreed.
Hey, y'all want to see something cool? The bottom of my tumbler, it twists off.
Oh, I used to have one like that. I still do. And
it's got a little straw.
I had the same one. My warm and fuzzy one that looks like the bricks has that.
Squirrel.
I never use that straw though.
Sidebar.
Because it's weird.
I know she's like, there's a straw on the bottom and she sucks it out of a different straw.
Because that's a foldable straw. It's weird. It's got like a piece of silicone in it or something.
I've never even took it out.
It's so cool, but I've never used it. I thought you were going to say like you're hiding stuff in there.
Yeah, it's difficult to get out.
It's my hidey hole. Hang on a minute.
Margaret, don't. Is that what we're calling it now?
That's what she said.
I'm gonna spray you.
That's what he said. Anyway. That looks pitiful.
Yeah, you just have to pull it and snap it. Nope.
We've lost the plot on this one now. Ooh, bend and snap. Okay, sorry. Trying to change the direction on this conversation. That looks terrible. Like, how do you drink out of that thing?
Oh, it won't stay up.
This episode has just gone off the cliff. Like, how do you even drink out of that thing?
I was gonna say, how do you?
That thing comes out. It must come out.
It doesn't come out.
You drink around the freaking rubber piece?
It's a silicone straw inside.
Oh.
To clean it? Mm-hmm.
With approval.
Shake my straw with you.
All right,
Anyway.
Should we wrap this up?
That's what she said.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I was waiting for it this time.
Yep.
I told Brad about that. I was like, she keeps saying it every episode, and we always say, that's what she said. And she never catches on.
Okay, that wraps up today's episode of the Dirty Heifers podcast. We always love these more relaxed conversations because they remind us how much growing a business is really about growing as people. And chances are, if you're in the middle of that process right now, you're doing better than you think you are. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to the podcast so you never miss a new one. And if you're watching on YouTube, we'd love to hear from you. What's something that you've learned running your business that you never expected to need? You can find all three of us online, Jessie at Country Lava Soapworks, Shauna at Bawana Bath and Body, and me at Warm and Fuzzy Soapery. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today, and as always, stay dirty, heifers.